I've made it so that anytime I die or defeat a boss, my character becomes 20% bigger. We're gonna start off at the smallest size and see just how big my character can really get. We start off by creating our character and appearing in the Chapel of Anticipation, where our character is very noticeably smaller than usual. We take on the grafted sand to make it to the lands between and ultimately just get squished. But this depth does not count towards our character's size, so we spawn in the stranded graveyard still at the minimum size. Since we're so small, it takes about 257,000 hours just to walk across the map, and we finally make it to our first real boss of our run, the Soldier of Godrick. With the toothpick in hand for our weapon, we absolutely obliterate his health, and for defeating him, we get our first taste of growth.
Yo, I just cooked up his health bar.
Now we're off to Limgrave. We move out to do typical Elden Ring activities such as speak to Vare, murder this innocent soldier who didn't see it coming at all, and meet up with Melina to pick up our mini spectral steed.
Yo, my horse is mini
for no reason, we decide to take on the Tree Sentinel, with my lone wolf summoned for backup. Now when I say for no reason, there's not a single playthrough where I'd ever start off by facing this boss, so I can't really say why I decided to do that today. But anyways, due to my absolutely poor decision, the horse senpai bested us a few times despite some solid attempts. And because of this, our character is already larger than your typical character would be. I decided I actually needed to lock in before our character got too big to even reach other areas of the map. After just a small back and forth, I can already tell the difference in size for our character makes a huge difference. With the increase in size, we literally fly across the map when dodging any abilities, and we can safely use our attacks from a distance that the Tree Papacito cannot punish. But just before you start thinking this run would be an absolute breeze, I will say, it gets out of hand pretty quickly. Now I don't want to say too much at this point of the playthrough, so just enjoy watching me still thinking this run would be a great idea. With pure skill, we actually managed to finally take down the Tree Sentinel. And with that, we also grow a little bit bigger for defeating a boss. Now we're back to regularly scheduled exploring. I guess I wouldn't call moving 300 kilometers an hour and struggling to get through doorways regular, but you get the idea. Now we make it to Margit, and he doesn't look as intimidating as I remember him. The size advantage makes this fight an absolute breeze, very easily staying well out of his range and poking him with our club that's about 2 times the usual size. We beat him up for all his delayed attacks and are flawlessly getting through this fight. And just to really show the difference in size, we do a quick Squid Game check to show you just how massive the summons are too. We start to get a bit ahead of ourselves and start to relax thinking that this fight will be over in no time, and Margarine manages to prove otherwise. Little does he know we're gonna come back even bigger, which just makes it worse for him. And as we're playing well through another attempt, we get humbled once again. Nah, man, I dodged that, yo. How did I hit? Well, you know what they say, 3rd time's the charm. That's yeah, that's what we were going for the whole time. Yeah, you know, it wouldn't be right to okay. We absolutely lock in this time and fell this omen, and we get another size boost for our troubles, and apparently so did Melina. Speaking to her gives us access to the round table hold, and so we take a quick pit stop and check how things are going over there.
Hey yo, is this one not massive, or am I just tripping?
Before we head over to our next boss, we grab some items such as the Wondrous Physique, both halves of the Dectus Medallion, Radahn Sword Seal, and the Opaline Bubble Tear. Then we run straight through the gate, and I prove to be a nice, big, and easy target for them.
Okay, my fault.
But we managed to swiftly make it to Godrick the Gunner. Facing Godrick was more or less the same as facing Margit. His moves are relatively easy to dodge, and we can freely hit him from a distance, and so we get him to phase 2 fairly quickly by spamming jump attacks and bleeding him with our Morningstar. We end up defeating Godrick on our first attempt with Squid Game handling business too, and our Opaline Bubble Tear protecting us very thoroughly. As we make our way through Liurnia of the Lakes, we do a bit of setup to prepare for the 2 main bosses in this area, Pluto from Disney and the queen of all OnlyFans users, Rennala. Or is it Rennala? Yo, honestly, I don't even give it. We start off by bothering the sleeping dragon and take the keys to his house, and he's not too fond about that apparently. Then we run through the wetlands of Rennala and head over to Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnel to grab a few smithing stones and pick up the Miner's Bell-Bearing Wand for unlimited upgrades for our weapons.
I mean, I guess I can see exactly where to go.
We absolutely annihilate the Crystallian, and because he is a boss, we get a bit of an extra growth spurt as well. Now off to the academy. Rather than taking the teleporter, we parkour our way there, just because we can, and we run through Hogwarts with relative ease and make it to Mickey's pet. Now compared to the previous bosses, Pluto does not go down without a fight. He uses his Mickey enchantments to conjure up a sword and swings the hell out of it. One single mistake against this dog costs us our life.
Okay, damn. Bro,
Which leads to another size increase in multiple areas. We come back with no real change in our strategy, and spam dodges and jump attacks to make me feel like I'm decent at this game. The ability to keep a safe distance while attacking keeps my mental health intact, so no crash outs just yet. Just Crash Bandicoot going down and our size going up. Now we run into our lifetime arch nemesis, and that's the balls.
Okay, I don't know how to dodge this actually. That's not gonna hit me. Oh, shit.
Followed up by Moongrum, the NPC whose shield and sword are literally bigger than him. Now the downfalls of being so big are starting to appear, with it being very difficult to hit such a small target. So our best bet is just to run away. Go, 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 please, go, go, go. Oh my shit. But we come back and defeat him very skillfully, before reaching the OnlyFans goat, Rennala, where we get a very interesting cutscene. Hey yo, these cutscenes are crazy, gang. This fight truly tests our ability as a giant. With each swing, we hit multiple different targets, and we have to position ourselves correctly to be able to hit the minions and Rennala herself. You also don't really see where any of the attacks are coming from, so we just gotta firm it and hope and pray for the best. The playstyle ultimately works, and we send Rennala to her second phase where it gets much, much scarier. Oh my god, yo. Yo, that is jokes. This fight becomes the Dragon Ball universe, showcasing Majin Buu vs Cell, and Squid Games. Rennala was not too bad of a fight. Despite her spamming spells the entire time, it was mostly a matter of hitting her at the right opportunities and running away at the right time. We slowly but surely chip away at her health bar and do cardio around her. This fight takes a turn, however, when we completely run out of potions and she drops us to 1 HP. Given that this fight has already been going on for a while and we don't want to run into the balls again, we lock in because there's absolutely no way we're going back there. So we spend the next 10 minutes running for my life from her magic spells and her summons. With her now at 1 HP and me at 1 HP, it becomes a game of who can really get the last hit, and I almost blatantly give it to her for free. Oh my god, I almost folded. But we somehow managed to make it and drop the final hit on her head tops. After you defeat her, you can speak to her to change your appearance. I wasn't actually going to change anything, but I managed to capture this. Wait, he's holding a massive weapon, yo. Now with the Dectus halves at hand, we're able to set off for Altus Plateau.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What?
Hell yeah, dude. That's a very nice angle. Very nice angle, I'd say. We grab a few items to prepare for the upcoming boss fights. We got Scarlet Rotboy, Draconic Horse Senpai, PP Ghost, and Margit on crack. We grab the Giant Crusher and then head over to Salad and grab the Berserk Sword, and Flame grant me strength for some buffs before pulling up to Redmane Castle. Given that the NPCs have weapons scaled with the size mod, I decided to summon all of them, and it was an amazing idea. With Radahn's map being so big, it's very easy to stay away from him and hit him at ample opportunities, and we get him to second phase with our consistent method of spamming jump attacks. Now because my character was so big, so was my ego, and I was playfully fighting this boss like he couldn't just easily one-shot me. And so he cooks me. Twice actually. No, I got stuck. But third time's the charm, right guys? The third time around, we take down little old Scarlet Rotboy, and we get a chance to look at the beautiful stars above. Oh god, yo. These cutscenes are just getting worse and worse. Imagine that being the last thing you see before the world explodes. We return to Altus Plateau to face our next boss, and try to surprise attack the Draconic Gunner, but it doesn't go too well. But anyways, with the gut sword at hand, we wail away at the tree poppy from a distance, and he has no real way to defend his horse ass cheeks. Time for another squid game check. The squid at this point becomes so big that I can't even see the boss. With no real way to defend himself against my massive sword, the Draconic Tree Gunner decides to start spamming fireballs. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. He has to face a pink giant with 2 brain cells and a massive sword with no real strategy other than swing and bonk. There's nothing you can really do against that if we're being honest. And so we take down the Draco Meteor Sentinel on our first attempt and reach the capital, Leyndell. We parkour our way through the city and skillfully scale this massive dragon before heading over to our next boss. We're going up against Piss Ghost. Now on first sight, this boss does appear to be a breeze, as we can just continue to spam the gut sword and maintain a safe distance from being hit, but the arena makes it slightly challenging. We kinda have to start guessing where we are hitting, but it seems to be working for the most part. At least with Godfrey, he only has a few attacks, so there's less to worry about, but I can't really say much with my one-hit wonder strategy. With that being said, we take down Piss Monster on the first try, and earn a talisman pouch for our troubles and another increase in size for defeating a boss. Now with this next boss, I decided to try something a bit different. After seeing the cutscenes of Melina following our same pattern of growth, I realized I could try to summon her, and just have 2 massive giants to face this next boss. But it doesn't really go as planned, but to make up for it, I got another fantastic cutscene for you guys. Oh, the camera angle every single time just pans down. Now we're starting to really realize what we're capable of with this size. We're almost halfway across the map from him, and we managed to hit him with the Guts Greatsword. And honestly, if it weren't for her health bar, I don't think I would see Melina at all. This fight is going rather smoothly, following the same trends as other fights, where we safely poke from a distance and dodge all his attacks skillfully. But my squid and I get a bit caught off guard when he brings out this attack.
Oh, it looks kind of sick from this angle. Alright, let's go in.
Whoa. Whoa. How did that hit me? Going slightly larger, we return to Morgunner and drop him to his knees, and despite our size difference, I'm still able to hit him with a riposte. Oh, and also more squid games. That boy is massive. We're doing well so far this run, and slowly drop his health with each swing. We finally get him close to half health, and because he was so small, I didn't even realize he was transitioning into his second phase, and we almost catch another casualty. But we managed to survive and come right back with the same swings that have been carrying us throughout these last fights. After locking in, there's no real chance for this boss facing off against a sword that hits from such a far distance. I almost feel bad for using the sword. Oh well, I'm over it. It's only a matter of time before Morgott gets got, and we manage to finish him off with a riposte that doesn't even really hit him. Then the ghost of Melina appears for a second, but after touching grass, we actually get to speak with her.
Hey, watch the personal space though?
To make this run more challenging, we decide to switch up our weapon to the grafted Goonblade, and head through the Forbidden Lands to swiftly reach the Mountaintops of the Giants, my homeland. But before we get there, I decide to take a bit of a detour with a good idea in mind. Instead, we scale the mountains of Mount Gelmir to reach Volcano Manor. Our goal here is to join the manor and face off against the Lord of Buffoonery, Rykard. I want to see how the Serpent Hunter would interact with his boss during this fight and get a great view of his arena from above. And so we complete the assassin contracts and gain audience with the Serpent himself.
Yup. This looks like the place.
Straight away we equip the Serpent Hunter and get busy on taking down this boss. Let me just say, something about seeing this boss look a lot smaller actually made the fight a lot more fun. But I guess the boss sensed that I was actually enjoying myself too much and ended that real quick. I suddenly realized what was missing. Squid games. Why would you need a god-devouring serpent when you have the god-devouring squid? As we're going through this fight, we almost get caught off guard when we get stuck on a rock.
Oh no, please. Oh.
But this run goes successful and we manage to take down this boss for first phase to reveal the Lord of Goons. The Lord of Goons part of the fight was actually even easier, besides the random fireballs that would smack me in my pink face. The Lord of Buffoons has no quick attacks like the serpent that could catch us off guard, and our size makes it easy to run laps over him. And so, we serpent hunt him and increase in size before heading over to the Mountaintops of the Giants.
Yo, that angle is so devious, bro.
We scurry our way through the mountaintop of my people before reaching our next boss, my blood brother, Fire Giant. Or in this case, just Fire, because he's not even really a giant anymore. Okay, actually, he's still bigger than me. For now. We whip out our massive giant crusher and try to crush his toes with it, and whip out squid games to overcompensate for our lack of size. To be honest, I envisioned being as big as the Fire Giant naturally by the time I reached this point. But dying to him anyways increases our size and security, leading to the great crash out event.
Nah, let's see how he likes this, yo. Let's see how he likes this. Who's the real giant now? Who's the real giant now, man? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Come on. Bonk. Okay.
Alright, maybe we went a bit too far there. But the next time around, we come back being just around the same size as the Fire Giant. So now we got the Pink Lord versus the Fire average size guy. Who do you think will win this matchup? I think we got Alright, we got a little bit off of track there, but we resumed to regularly scheduled programming. We returned to our regular method, but we used the Great Stars instead so that we can get some bleed damage this time around and come straight for them toes. And we fail yet again, so we resort to the crash out tactics once more.
Bro, this game actually sucks. This game actually is trash. Let me see if I can jump in this arena. Okay, that works. Bonk. Bonk. Yeah, I can still hit him from this. What the hell? What even killed me?
It's time to really lock in. We go back to the size we would have originally been had we faced the Fire Giant and died as many times as we did. And we make some progress on his health bar before finally taking him into second phase. In the second phase, the typical method is chase after his hands to deal extra damage, but we opt for just smacking him in the back with our spiky stick, which I'm sure would hurt him anyways. And this method of just following him around, going into spots where he doesn't have any possible chance of hitting me whatsoever, appears to be working. And so we continue, until we drop him in his face and start beating him down with no remorse.
Let's go. There we go. We take down the Fire Giants. Now I'm the only real giant out here now.
Now off to the forge we go. At the forge, we meet up with the giant maiden and send her off to be sacrificed for the greater good and burn down the Erdtree. Hey, yo, Melina, chill. Yo. Hey, yo, this is PG, bro. Whoa, that's crazy.
Okay, bye.
Before waking up in Detroit. Now with all these small halls and corridors, it's very easy to get lost in this place. Not to mention the amount of platforming and parkour you need to do just to get around.
For fuck's sake.
This place really showcases the downsides of being a giant while playing Elden Ring. But thankfully we managed to make it to the foreskin duels with only few casualties. Now this fight was kind of a problem. The Gut Sword serves us well to be able to hit both bosses at once, but given that the boss arena is just like the rest of the map, it becomes very difficult to even see what's actually happening. This gets quite annoying, and it doesn't help that with each death to this boss we slightly grow bigger on the way. So a lot of this fight was spent running to one side and guessing where they would be, and swinging and hoping for the best and running back to the other side and trying again, which doesn't turn out so well for us. Our next plan was to reverse crash out, and I thought just for viewing purposes as well, it would be better to scale down our size enough to where you guys can actually see what's going on. It's been a while, so we also bring Squid Games to the party to participate, and together we managed to take down the foreskin duo. Going into this fight, I thought the Beast Clergyman would give us problems given its speed and ability to move around the map when you're facing it at base side, but we learned real quick that that's not the case here. The same thing goes for Malekith, who looks very underwhelming when you're this big. He tries to jump on the pillars, which is about eye level for us, and there's not really anywhere for him to escape onto in this map, so it's only inevitable that we take down Goofy from Mickey. And so we defeat Goofy and get the Rune of Death, and you know the saying, with great powers comes great cutscenes.
Oh my god. Oh. Bro, I just like Looks like that just came out of his ass.
Now we've made it to Lanedale, Ashen Capital, which is pretty much the late game of Elden Ring's main story. We have a few bosses to wrap up here. We got Harry Potter, Godfrey, and finally running into the final boss, Red Riding Hood and Space
Oh my
Lizard.
God, bro.
Before we head over to Harry Potter, we try to do a bit of last minute looting. With the new items, we make our way to the next boss. Oh, there's a chest here if anyone's wondering. In the midst of all his yapping, we swiftly start assaulting him. Now apparently Harry Potter is one of those characters who has a weapon that scales with the Resizer mod, so he's running around with a massive wand, no pun intended. We stick to what we know best and spam rolls and our basic attack to slowly whittle away at his health and dodge everything by accident. The arena does make it difficult at times as we try to swing and get absolutely blocked. And with just a few more hits left against this boss, the map actually costs us
Let
our
me
life.
hit him, please. Yo, the game does not
On our
work.
second go
The game is
we
not
become more
working.
intentional with our dodges, trying to make sure we don't get hit with any of his spells as they take a fair chunk out of my health bar. And we end up getting destroyed as he sends a magic spell straight through my soul. Harry Potter actually proves to be one of the most difficult bosses during this run for once, as his spells also scale with our character size and they cover a large area, so keeping a distance isn't as easy as usual. We need to carefully avoid all his abilities while trying to get our hits in, and we manage to chain him into a series of hits that he can do absolutely nothing about, and we're finally able to defeat him, cause third time's the charm. On our way to the next boss, my intrusive
I could
thoughts
jump in
end up
here.
winning.
Shit.
Well, we manage to get to the boss and our face-off begins.
What is my guy even walking on? Like, he's literally walking so slow. And he's in the ground. Oh, yeah.
Whoa, that was a crazy pan out. Now, we've been here before in this arena when we faced Margit on crack, so we're pretty aware of what we're capable of in this arena. And so does our dear squid friend. The only time it gets difficult during this fight is once he starts releasing these shockwaves, which forces us to actually jump and dodge. It even sends us straight off the map.
Ah, shit.
For the next time around, we try to be a lot more careful when he brings out the shockwaves, and boy oh boy was he absolutely relentless of them. He pretty much spams them his entire first phase. We finally get him to second phase, and there's a few times where we had near casualties, but we managed to survive this time around.
Fuck's sake, bro.
We're not even trying to be funny anymore at this time, but third time is literally the charm. If you ever find yourself failing twice when trying something, just remember this video. On our third attempt, we try to avoid jumping as much as possible, as you've seen how that turns out. So we focus on dodges and manage to drop this boss to low HP. In the end, we finish off the first Elden Lord with a riposte, a true ending for a beast of a character. Literally. Now before we head out and face the final boss, I decided to prepare something special beforehand. We head over to Nokron to face myself, and this might have been the scariest fight in all of Elden Ring. The burst of speed catches me off guard, and it's like this for pretty much the entire fight, if you can even call it that. It's pretty much just me beating up myself for 5 minutes until the AI version of me pulls this.
Oh? Okay, what's happening? What has happened? He trapped me. He's literally trapped me.
For a second,
bro.
I thought I was finished, and my health bar is pretty much one hit, so my heart starts racing at this point, knowing that if I even attempt to heal, I would most likely die given how fast the Mimic was moving. But we managed to get it off and defeat the Mimic. Now the real reason we came to Nokron wasn't just to face the Mimic. We wanted to actually have the Mimic tier at our disposal. So we traverse the map until we reach this chest.
Alright, here it is. Yes,
Now
sir.
we can move on and face the final boss. But hold on,
But
I
use
did
that.
one more thing in secret that was absolutely necessary, and I wouldn't even be able to proceed in the playthrough without it.
Hell yeah, dude.
We can finally enter into the Eldrazi tree, and now I present to you the pink albinaric giant morning star foreskin Lord King. Now there's a number of factors that make this fight quite interesting. Firstly, if it wasn't for the glowing dot in the middle, I would not know where this boss was attacking from. Secondly, we're standing on a floating rock, so falling off the map is a very possible scenario. Thirdly, what is my mimic doing? Well anyways, going back to the fight, we just blindly swing at the glowing dot in the middle and just hope and pray for the best. For the most part, the tactic seems to be working. But our lack of being able to see this boss also prevents us from seeing him charge up his devious attacks. And he manages to hit me a few times while my mimic just does cardio for 40 minutes. So Little Red Riding Hood ends up cooking me. For round 2, we try to just stay outside of Little Red Riding Hood's attack range and just continue to wail at him with our Morningstar, and we managed to take him down this time. And now we're off to face the Elden Beast, the most menacing beast of them all.
Aww, he's such a little cutie pie. Look at him.
Together with my mimic, we do cardio around this boss to avoid all his attacks and try to slowly whittle down the final boss to become the Giant Lord. He's quite stationary the entire time, so there's not really much to see for this boss fight besides my extremely massive character. So I decided to spice things up, for viewer purposes, and make our character even bigger. Together with my mimic, we take down the final boss and share a quick moment together.
Me and bro did it, yo. We did it.
Yo, this guy just cut. We end up mending the Elden Ring and get our throne as the Elden Lord. Overall, this run was a fantastic experience. It's very nice to see this game in a different way from how it's typically played, and I got to try a bunch of new things that I would never have even seen me doing while playing this game. So shout out and thank you to the 5th map for creating this mod, and if you want to try it out for yourself, I have it down in the description below. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a like, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for more content in the future. Okay, bye!